Hello and welcome to Buncee Basics, a guide to getting started. This is the first video in a series that will show you everything you need to know to get started on Buncee. In this video, we're going to talk about creating on Buncee. Now, before we dive in, I just want to go over what we're going to cover in this video and give you a little taste of what Buncee can do. Now, you might not have noticed, but this presentation I'm showing you is actually a Buncee. So this is actually one of the many things that you can do on Buncee. In this video, we'll cover editing pages and backgrounds, adding multimedia, interacting with media on your canvas, managing accessibility and privacy settings, and I'll also show you some examples of what you and your students can make. Our first example is from an elementary school student. It's a book report, and as you can see, she's used some of Buncee's many stickers and animations to represent the main characters in this book. She's also attached her own audio to these stickers.
Poppy is a deer mouse, and she is very curious, and she's very brave, and she's sometimes wise.
On the next page, we see that she's used Buncee's stickers and backgrounds to recreate a scene from the book so she can visually represent what she's learning. She's added a web image that she's found through Buncee's Pixabay web search, and she's added a link as well so she can link to a website. On the next page, we see that she's used stickers and backgrounds again, and she's also used text. We have a very easy to use text feature. She's also added her own video right on Buncee.
Ragweed used to have an earring, and when Ragweed died by Mr. Okax, Poppy looked in Mr. Okax's palette.
On the next page, we see she's chosen a web image again. She's also added photos from a class project that she's done. And on the next page, we see that she's added video from that project as well. So as you can see, it's a multi-page Buncee. It's a book report that an elementary school student has done. So a great example of one of the many ways you can use Buncee. Now the next example I'm going to show you is quite a bit different in every way possible. It's only one page. It's a math example, and it's from a high school student. So as you can see here, this student has added a picture of their math work, and they've attached audio to these number stickers so that they can demonstrate this is 1, 2, and 3 steps, and they've attached audio to these numbers to explain steps 1, 2, and 3.
So in this problem, we're finding the integral from 0 to 1 of the third root of 1 plus 7x dx, and
so these are just two very different examples of things that your students can do with Buncee. So without any further ado, let's dive right into creating. Now when you log into Buncee, you will be taken to your dashboard, and this is where all of your Buncees live. To create a new Buncee, everything is very consistent in Buncee. Anytime you want to create something new or add something new, you're going to click a plus sign. So we're going to click on Create New Buncee, and this brings us to our little pop-up template modal. We've just introduced templates, and we'll get to see more of them in just a bit. Basically, you can create from scratch or create from one of our many templates. We're going to click on Create on Buncee v3. That's our latest version, and I highly recommend using that one because you just have more options. So now we have the option to either start from scratch or choose from a template. As you can see over here, we're on Newly Added, so we can see all of the templates that have been most recently uploaded. We have all sorts of templates, from banners to bookmarks to cards. We have math activities, science activities, invitations, thank yous, really anything you could possibly think of. So of course you can browse here to see our most recently added ones, or you can browse over here in the category section. You can see any sort of education categories, holidays, social media. There's so much to look at. Really, I would recommend taking time to explore that. You can also come up here to the search bar and you can type in perhaps a subject and see all sorts of Buncees, any sort of math related Buncees. So there's a couple different ways to search for any sort of template that you're looking for. But we're going to just start from scratch today. We're going to click the plus sign, and this brings us to our creation canvas. So if you've used any sort of presentation tool before, this should look pretty familiar to you. You have your pages panel over here. You can click right here, again the plus sign, to add a new page, and just click add blank new page. So now you have your second page right here if you want to, and just click here to go back to your first page. Over on the opposite side we have our items panel, and you can click here to add a new item if you want to. You can also hide these panels away if you so choose. Because we have nothing on our canvas yet, we do have a giant plus sign here. We can click to add our item, or we can click here to change the background first. Doesn't matter what order we do this in, but I'm going to click change background. So we have a lot of different options that you can pick from for backgrounds. As always, our most recently added backgrounds are up here, so you can peruse them. We've just added a bunch of student art as backgrounds, so that's very fun. If you want to, though, you can come over here to the web, click on web, and this is what I had briefly mentioned earlier. You can search. We have a search powered by Pixabay, so that means everything is Creative Commons licensed, it's safe and legal to use, and it is keyword filtered. So your students can search the web in a kind of more controlled environment, and they don't have to go outside of Buncee to do that. You can choose a color as your background as well. We also have the codes here if you want to utilize those. You can also upload a file from your drive. Perhaps you have a picture of your family or your pet that you want to use as a background. You can do that. Again, just click this blue plus sign and upload whatever picture you want as your background. We also have several Buncee art categories to choose from. We have photographs, we have really anything, and these are all made by our design team. We have that student art I mentioned before. So you can peruse a category if you want to, or you can just come up here to the search bar and this will search all of our Buncee art. I'm just going to type in space because that's the Buncee I want to make. And I have a lot of different options to choose from. I'm going to pick this one. And I can either choose to add it to just this page or all of my pages. I'm just going to add it to one page. So now we have a beautiful background. There's a couple different things we can do down here at the bottom. We can delete this page if we decide we don't want it. We can duplicate it to make another one. We can also control the opacity, so we can either make it more see-through or less see-through, or all the way if we want to. And if we decide we don't like this background, we can always change it right here. So let's get started adding an item to our canvas. We can click here, and this brings up our media palette. So anytime you want to add something to your canvas, you're going to click that plus sign, and you'll be taken to the media palette. In our yellow column over here, these are our user-generated assets, so things that you guys will be creating. We have a text feature, like we saw earlier in that example. Very easy to use and very similar to any sort of other text tool. You can type what you want, highlight what you need, and then change the color, the font, the size, and then we can bold, underline, whatever we want to do. We can do multiple different fonts and colors within one text box. We're not limited by that. So that's very cool. We can also change the opacity on pretty much any item in our canvas, but our text as well. Now our giant plus sign is gone from the middle because we have added one item to our canvas, but don't worry, it's right over here if we want to continue adding items to our canvas. We're going to click that plus sign again. Our next item in our yellow column is shapes. We have all sorts of different shapes. They're great for geometry, but also for design and just fun things like that. For shapes, they're pretty special. We can change their border color. We can change their inside color. We can make that border thicker or thinner, or we can make it disappear entirely. And we can control the opacity on that as well. So that's pretty cool. And lastly, in our yellow column, we do have a drawing tool. It's great for, if you have students that are little artists that love to draw and create, you can do that as well. Or perhaps you just want to highlight something, you can do that. And you can control the opacity on this drawing as well. So that is pretty cool. Gives you just kind of a lot more options. Bringing our media palette back up, our next column is our red design team generated assets column. So this is all of the Buncee art that our design team makes each and every day. They're constantly adding new graphics. If you know you want an animation, you can go ahead and click animation. And of course, again, we have our most recently added right up here at the top, or you can scroll down here on the side and choose a category. Maybe you want library, people, seasons, whatever the case may be. We have a lot to choose from. Or you can search up here in the in the search bar. I'm gonna type in planets. So for animations, you can preview those animations before you drop them in, make sure it's what you want, and then you can click on them. And you can click on as many as you want, and you can either click this add button like I have been doing, or you can just drag and drop in, and that's especially easy for smaller students. They can just drag and drop what they need. If we know we want a sticker, we want something that doesn't move, we can click that, and we can search what we need. We have those lovely categories just like for our animations as well. So I can go ahead and add those stickers in as well. We have Buncee messages. Those are quotes and inspirational phrases that you can add into your Buncee. We also have emojis. These are fun. They have their own little categories. We have Cluck Kent, we have Dino Dad. Very fun. And kids love these, and that's our goal at Buncee, is to always, speak to the kids. But in addition to being fun, emojis are great for social emotional learning. So a student could just type in the emotion they're feeling, and they can find emojis that represent that. Some of them happen to be animations, so we can click that. We can add that in, and just choose whichever ones we want. So now we have quite a few items on our canvas, and there's quite a few different things that we can do with them. So for example, we can duplicate an item, we can copy an item, so it's been copied to our clipboard, and that allows us to come over here to our second page and paste it. So now he's on our second page as well. If we want to delete an item, we can click on it and either hit the delete or backspace button on our keyboard, or we can hit this little trash can right here to delete. It's always going to ask us if we want to make sure we're deleting an item, and that's pretty good. You can rotate items, make them bigger or smaller. You can also flip them from side to side or upside down. And of course, you can control the opacity on items as well. Stickers, animations, whatever the case may be. You can also come down here at the bottom. You can choose to link to an item on your canvas, or just like we saw in our example, you can add audio to these stickers or animations. So you can click right there. You can click this red button. You can add audio to whatever you need to add audio to. Click stop, upload. And just like that, your audio is here. Now you can preview this and make sure it's what you want, and students can remove and re-add audio as many times as they need. This is great if they're maybe practicing their oral presentation skills. I think it's okay, so I'm just going to add it, and my audio has been attached. Now if I want to just preview this audio and make sure that it's where I want it, I can come up here to preview. We're in edit mode right now, but I can go into preview mode, click that, and it's always going to prompt me to name my Buncee before I do that. So I click done. And now you can see this little red button just like we saw in our example, and I can click that. You can add audio to whatever you need to add audio, and my audio is there. So we're not done yet, so I'm going to go back into edit mode. Click that. Now, another cool thing I want to show you is layering. So you can, if you want to, choose to layer your items. Perhaps you are, you have text and you want to layer a shape underneath your text so that the text is more easily seen. This is an example where you might use layering. But so I have all my layers. I have all my items here in a pile. Items that are towards the front of our item panel over here, items that are towards the top are going to be towards the front of our canvas, and items that are towards the bottom are going to be towards the bottom of our canvas. So if I want to, I can drag this little sticker all the way to the bottom of my items panel, and now he's towards the back of my canvas, so I can't see him. If I want to though, if he's lost, I can come over here. I can drag this to the top. And now he's at the front again. I can also click here and I can click to back. And now he's at the back. If I want this little planet Earth perhaps to be at the front, I can click that, click to front, and now it's at the front. So it just gives you a lot of options when you're layering, to kind of make your Buncee exactly the way you want to make it. So next in our blue column right here, these are our web generated assets. We do have a web image search. Just like searching for a background, you can do the same if you wanted to search a web image. Again, powered by Pixabay, so Creative Commons license and keyword filter. We can click back to just get back to our media palette. We also offer 360 images. They're great for virtual field trips. It's really cool. You can click in and drag around and see that image and see it 360 degrees around. We also offer YouTube and Khan Academy videos as well, so your student doesn't need to go outside of Buncee to go into YouTube to find what they need to find. They can search for it right here. In our green column right here, these are things that you would upload. So if you want to, you can click upload, and just like uploading a photo as your background or something like that, you can upload one of your own photos, or perhaps you have a PDF file you'd like to include, you can upload that to Buncee as well. You can import a URL. You can also record video like we saw in our example, or you can take a photo right in Buncee. So this is very useful. Like we saw our math student take a photo. You can do that. Hello everyone. Click next, and you can actually edit this photo right in Buncee. You can crop it and rotate it if need be. We can save that and upload it. And now it's on our canvas, and this is great. Sometimes students want to take a picture of their work like we saw our math student do. I was also at an event recently where students created little holiday cards for their parents with their photos on it, so that was very cute, and it was very simple and easy to do for them. Lastly, we have our purple and navy column. We have free response questions and multiple choice questions, so you can click to add one of those. And you can write in your question. You can choose which choice is the correct choice. You can add choices, and describe these choices, of course, and then add that right to your canvas. Now you can then push this to your students. You can assign it as an assignment. Your students can answer the questions and then return it to you to be graded. So that's very useful as well. And lastly, over here we have our QR code. Click right here and a QR code is generated automatically, so it's very useful. Some teachers use them for stations, so for example, if they want to, they could just leave this here or they could copy it. They can come over here to their second page, they can paste it, and perhaps they just want to save on some ink. They just want to print out just this page. They can cut out this QR code, paste it to a student's desk. The student can scan that QR code and be taken right to this Buncee. So that's very useful and fun as well. There's a lot of different ways you can use QR codes. That's just one of them. And that is pretty much everything on our media palette. So as you can see, there's a lot of different options for your students and for you. So up here at the top, I just want to show you one thing really quick. At the top, we do have an undo and redo button, so if you make a mistake, no worries, you can very easily fix it. Over here, on the other opposite end of that top panel, we have a zoom and pan function, so you can zoom into your canvas, you can pan over using the little hand, you can pan, and then click it to disable it. And then this just allows you to focus in and really get those details right. You can focus in on a much smaller little area. So to zoom out, once we have everything the way we want it, we can either zoom out or just hit reset, and now we're back where we started. Lastly, I just want to show you the resize canvas button. So we can click here. Now we've been creating in our standard classic Buncee size the 16 by 9, and that's perfect for all sorts of things. Presentations, assignments, cards, really anything. That standard Buncee size in landscape mode. But now it's available in portrait as well, so we can do a portrait mode. We also have all sorts of other sizes to choose from. We have a square canvas size. It's great for Instagram posts, profile avatars. If kids wanted to create maybe a fake Instagram post for a historical figure, that's an idea for that. We have a banner size. We have Twitter and Facebook headers they're great for. But in landscape or portrait mode, banners are really great for making your own custom bookmarks. We have a letter size as well. Super easy if you're going to try to print anything out. Letter size is a great way to go because that's our standard letter size. Great for assignments, worksheets, flyers, newsletters, or if you want to make a digital flyer or newsletter or an interactive document, letter size is a great size for that. We offer a business card size, again in landscape and portrait. Our Buncee team actually made our business cards on Buncee with the business card size, so it's very cool. Teachers, if you want to maybe grow your PLN, making a digital Buncee business card is a great way to do it. We have a playing card size, and this was actually a suggestion because if you have a suggestion, and it's popular and people like it, we'll probably make it, so that's pretty cool. This was suggested to us by a teacher. This size is great for making your own flashcards or making playing cards for activities. And lastly, if none of these are to your liking or you want to make something a little bit different, we do have a custom size. You can put in your own dimensions and do it that way as well. So let's say I just want to see what this looks like as a square size. I can hit apply and things are going to get moved around a little bit. That's okay. We're going to hit change size and our canvas size has been changed. So things are basically where they were before. Things have been moved around a little bit, but I can adjust that if I want to. The other thing you might have noticed is our background is a little different looking. Now, all of our backgrounds are designed for our classic Buncee size in landscape mode. So that means whenever we choose a different size or orientation, our background is going to look a little different and we can do some pretty cool things with it. We can come down here to the bottom, click on Move Background, and we can actually drag this background and move it to where we want it. So it lets us kind of create something different and unique. So let's say I want this little star right here. I want it to be right there. I can do that and click Done, and now my background is exactly the way I want it. So let's say maybe I've done all of this and I don't like it. I want to go back to what I was doing. I can click Resize Canvas, and I can click Buncee Size Landscape, and everything is back where it was. So I can experiment with different sizes. I can see how this looks with different sizes, and I don't have to worry about it. I can come back to finish what I was working on. So that about does it for creation. Thank you so much for joining us, and be sure to tune in for part 2 where we're going to talk about sharing Buncees.